here on 1340 WJOL. I'm Marissa, your host. Have you ever wondered if a job is real or a scam? It seems like it's getting more difficult to tell the difference, especially with internet fraud being so rampant and scammers preying on job seekers to get personal information and their money. To help you identify fake job offers, and there's a lot of them, and avoid job scams is Allison Doyle. She's the job search expert for the Balanced Careers and one of the industry's most highly regarded career experts. Welcome, Allison.
Thank you so much, Marissa. It's a pleasure.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm just so happy that you made the time to be with us because it really breaks my heart when job seekers get taken advantage of. Tell me about this website that you're featured on and why it's a good resource for job seekers.
Of course, Balanced Careers is designed to help job seekers with every step of the process involved in both job searching when you need a job immediately or changing your career. We have advice for entry-level candidates, for mid-career, for retirees looking to get back into the workforce, for freelancers, those looking for a side gig to just earn some extra money. Whatever you need, we have resources for everything from writing a resume, writing a cover letter, how to network, really the full gamut of what you need to be successful in your career.
No, it's a great site, and I just happened to stumble upon it when I was doing research on job scams in general, and I wanted to know, there must be some, I don't know if it's a personal reason or somebody that maybe you knew, but what made you write about the top 10 internet job scam warning signs?
I have received, Marissa, over the years, many emails from job seekers who have been scammed, and they forward me the messages they've received, and some of them are so detailed, have so much information that it's really hard to decipher the fact that they are a scam and that the person is being taken advantage of. So I thought it would be helpful to show some of those signs, so if you get an email contacting you and it doesn't just look quite right, you can carefully evaluate whether it's legitimate or it's a scam.
Oh, no. When I was reading your article, I couldn't believe it. I said it'd be so easy for anyone to get fooled, no matter how much of a career background you have, education. They're really, really, it's just incredible how deceptive they are and how tricky.
I've a ton of them, and even for me, sometimes you really have to read through the lines and then research the company by Googling them and the name of the company and scam, and to see if you can find more information. Because I think as the Internet has progressed, the scammers have progressed as well, coming up with new ideas. What new way can we use to get somebody to give us their personal information or their money or whatever else that they're looking for when they're scamming people.
I know, and it's so sad because especially when you're looking for a job, you really are in need. A lot of people are in need. They want a job. They need the income. Then they see something, they get so excited, and then it's like a scam. So I want to take the time to go over each of the warning signs, and if you could provide an example or tip for each one, that would be wonderful.
Sure, of course. So do you want to start with the first one? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yes.
If you get an email from a company, if you never heard of them, they're offering you high pay, you didn't apply for the job, it isn't from what could be a legitimate recruiter, but you would check that out by Googling the name of the company and if they're in your industry. But if it's just a sort of random email and it just doesn't sound right, and it sounds like they say they're going to offer you a job right away, or say they want to interview you immediately without even seeing a resume or any more information, that is most likely a scam.
Wow. And I saw that your tip, you said scammers troll job boards looking for victims.
Right, so they'll actually pretend to be an employer even and go look for resumes or post a job which seems like it's legitimate. Craigslist is one in the past that has had a lot of those type of jobs that weren't really jobs. It was just a way to get people hooked into their scam.
Wow. Okay. What about your second warning sign?
If it's very vague, if the job description really doesn't sound like anything somebody would be doing in a job, like you must have internet access. Well, what does that mean? Or it doesn't mention you needing any experience. You can just get hired to do this job. And then if you ask for the information, but the interviewer says, "Oh, we'll train you," or "We'll give you more information later," or if you don't, if you're told you're chosen to get an interview or a job offer, even though you don't have the skills for that job, that can be a red flag as well.
That's interesting. Especially, I know that you ended and you already said this, but they'll say something like, "Don't worry, we'll train you."
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But train you to do what? So you need to get more information. Again, with all of these, if you get any email about a job, before you even respond or do anything, take the time to Google it and check to make sure it's legitimate. It'll save yourself a lot of time going back and forth and figuring it out.
How about warning sign number 3?
Unprofessional emails. If so, you get an email that's sloppily written. It's got capitalization errors, typos, grammatical mistakes. It doesn't sound like it's professional. If it's not well written, that can be a sign that it's a scam, because most employers have professional recruiters and hiring managers who if they are writing to applicants, it will be professional and well written, and you'll be able to understand what they're talking about, and it'll be in response to a resume that perhaps you submitted or a job application you had turned in.
All right. And what about number 4? Number 4 surprised me in a way. Like, I just didn't think that if I saw something come in from Yahoo Instant Messenger or the online interview was set up that way, I would have thought it was legit. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, and you would think it was legitimate. That's how these people scam people. They're basically trying to trick you to give your confidential information. So they might get you might get a text message or some other message. "Oh, I saw your resume," especially if you had your phone number on it, and "Can you text me for an interview or via an online service?" And then they may say, "Well, in order to get the interview process going, we need more information from you, like your Social Security number," which you shouldn't be giving out, of course, to random people, or a credit card, because you may need a background check, for example. So that you hooked into a conversation and then try to get information from you.
Wow. So they'll even do the interview, and the interview could sound real, you say here.
Yeah, I've actually heard of somebody getting what they thought was a legitimate job offer, quitting their job and getting ready to move, and then finding out that they were scammed.
Oh, that's terrible.
Isn't it? Your whole life is in a turmoil.
It sure is. And when you mentioned about the confidential information, they're asking for bank accounts and credit cards or Social Security numbers. As a recruiter, I don't even recommend any of that until even in a legitimate place, until after you've been made an offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Marissa. Absolutely. Just that information, it's so scary just with other type of scams, let alone setting yourself up for one. So there's no need to give anybody that information, as you said, until you have a job offer.
And then now number 5, warnings on number 5 is sort of similar to I think number 3, but you said emails don't include contact information. And go ahead and tell me
so
more
if
about
it's
that.
an email, it just says from John Doe at Gmail, I am interested in hiring you for this job. So why isn't John Doe writing from the name of the company he works for? Does he have his contact information as a human resources manager or recruiter, his phone number, or if not the address, his LinkedIn profile, cell phone number or office phone number? So there's more information than just an email address telling you that they want to hire you.
And, you said something that there's a lot of email addresses that look just like other companies. They just add a little letter to it or something. Can you give an example of that?
Yeah, like very tricky. Just add a hyphen, for example, in the one I had in the article, Synergy-World.com versus Synergy World .com, or if they spell the company name slightly differently than the real company spells it. So just something a little awry that you really wouldn't notice it unless you were looking closely.
Oh, definitely, especially with the emails that we all get, so many. And then if you see something like from Amazon and instead it's like, it has a little, who knows, like a character after it or anything like that.
Exactly. Just like we get from, if you're you buy from Amazon probably like I do and almost everybody does, and then you get those scam emails, well, you need to check your Amazon account or you need to do that.
Yes.
Especially if you're in job search mode, when you're sending out lots of resumes, applying for jobs online, and you've got a lot of information coming back in that you've got to decipher through.
No, this is all such great information. How about number 6?
So before agreeing to an interview, you want to research to make sure, especially if some of these flags have come up. You should be able to find information about the company just by going to Google and typing in the company name. The company's website will come up. They should have a career section of their website that will list the job postings that are available, so you can match up the job you've been contacted about with what's actually available. And also you can put in the company name and the word scam, and if other people have reported it as a scam, it should show up there. And if there's no information about the company, that's a red flag as well, because what is this company? Why doesn't it have a website or job listings? Even a small company usually has a one-page, or there'll be Google reviews about the company or Facebook reviews or something show up. So either nothing or search results that don't make any sense when you're looking up the company.
Okay. And how about warning sign number 7? You've been asked to provide confidential information. We sort of touched a little bit upon
Right.
that.
Well, we spoke about that briefly a couple of minutes ago. So that if the scammer may say you need to fill out a credit report form or give confidential information because we want to check your background, like I said, with a credit report, or we want to set up your direct deposit, or we want to have you open up a new bank account. All of those should be flags. As you mentioned, don't give Social Security number, birth date, or any other personal information until after you have a job offer and know that it's legitimate. Because once they have even some pieces of your identity, they may have enough to put together that they've stolen your identity and you're in trouble.
Now, the next one really surprised me, and I just can't believe that they do this to job seekers, and they make it sound so necessary and so like normal as part of the process. So talk about that, about sending money or valuables or using a personal bank account to transfer funds, and how some of this is related to stolen goods and illegal substance. I mean, tell our...
Yeah, I have heard of so many people who have taken advantage of this way, because as you said, they're very smooth. It sounds legitimate. Well, we need you because we're in another country. We're in Europe, and we need to process these orders. So we're going to send you a check, and we need you to deposit it, and then you send the rest of the money elsewhere. But then you find out from the bank that was a fake check, and you're out all the money.
Wow. So they'll send you a check. So you're like, oh, this is great. And then it's a fake check.
It's a fake check, right.
Wow. And then they get their money because they get your information.
Right, because you've wired the rest of the money, either Western Union, right? Because you keep your part for your share, and then we need you to forward the balance of it somewhere else. So you've sent that balance, but you're out the whole amount.
Wow. Okay.
And I think a lot of people, are especially starting out in the job market or haven't job searched in a long time, it's very hard to know what is real and what isn't. And they make it sound like, oh, this is so easy to do, and I need a job, and I may not have all the top skills. This is something I can do, and then you find out, well, no, it was a scam, and you were taken advantage of.
Yeah, they make it sound like it's normal practice now. Like
exactly,
you said, if they haven't been in the market or they're just starting out with their search, they don't know. Like you said, job seekers don't know. So, and when they do this so well and they're so good at it, it's easy to get scammed. Mm-hmm. And so now we're on number 9. They want you to pay for something.
So the way this one works is, for example, you're hired to work from home as a customer service rep, but you need to buy software. You need to buy $100 or $300 worth of software for your computer and supplies and equipment. You need to pay for, as another example, to have your resume reviewed so it can get passed on to the next level of screening. Or you need a credit check because the company only hires people who pass a credit check. And some of those even send you to a fake website where you would input all your information for the credit check, and then they've got all your information, and obviously they don't really check your credit, and they've got your money because you've paid for it.
That's crazy. And it sounds like it's, normal part of the process. Like, oh, okay. If all I have to do is get my credit check, turned in, and I'm supposed to pay for that, I guess that's okay. That's a bargain compared to what they're offering me, is what they're
right. And
thinking.
exactly. And the way to look at it is the other way. If you're getting hired by somebody, they're going to be paying you, not the other way around. Keep your money and consider that a warning if they're looking for money from you for anything.
That's right. You shouldn't have to pay anything up front at all, not at all, until you're hired, and then usually then the company takes care of everything. I know in construction it's a little different. They like their employees to bring their own tools because that way they're more, they take care of them better. But that's after you're hired. That's after you've got, you're legitimately with the company. Is when
exactly, yeah, and then they'll say you may need these things to do your job, but you're on the payroll before they can ask you to do that.
Definitely. And then so the final one?
The final one, if your gut says it's a scam, and I really think that probably should be number one, because if something seems to you like it's not quite right, I'm reading between lines, but it doesn't really make sense to me, it sounds shady, listen to your gut, because there's plenty of opportunities out there. This is a job seekers job market. We've got very low unemployment. There are jobs out there and plenty of real legitimate job opportunities. So if you're not sure about it, just don't waste your time on it and move on.
I love that advice. And like you said, it's a job seekers market. So there are plenty of opportunities. So if something tells you it's not right, it's not most likely right. So is there one major scam that is currently rampant that job seekers should be aware of? I mean, there's a lot, but there's one that sticks out right now that's happening.
One that sticks out in my mind because it's just so heartless. In the wake of the hurricanes in the Carolinas and Florida Panhandle, there is now disaster assistance scams, and these also happened with hurricanes in the past, where they will offer to help you get unemployment or business disaster loans if you're self-employed, and offer to help you get other assistance. Whatever you do if you were impacted by those hurricanes or any other national disaster or company closing or anything that might happen, is don't apply on a third-party website that offers to assist you. Go directly, if it's a national disaster like a hurricane, to disasterassistance.gov. So you know you're applying through the right channels. If you've lost your job, you're unemployed, go to your state unemployment website, and that's easy to find just by searching Google for New York State or Texas and unemployment, and it'll be a .gov website, and it will be the name of your state and unemployment. Go directly to the source of where you're going to get the assistance from. Don't go through a third party, because there's scammers everywhere.
Oh, Allison, you don't know how grateful I am that you've joined my program today. Where can listeners read more of your articles? They're really good, honestly. I know that you're on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
Tell the website.
And the balancecareers.com. There's, as I said, lots of advice there, and hopefully it's very helpful for anybody job seeking and growing their career.
Well, thank you again. And you can read more. You can find her information also and this interview on my Opportunity Recruiter Facebook page and also on my LinkedIn page. I'll make sure to have Allison's picture and her information and a link to the Balance Careers website. Thank you again, Allison, for joining me.
Thank you, Marissa. It was a pleasure.